A question for Coach, please raise your hand and wait for the microphone. We'll take questions for Coach Maurice. On the left side, Tom, third row.
Paul, to your left.
Thank you.
Over here.
I would be a lousy assassin.
What is Listerainen's status for the game this afternoon?
Game time.
Game
Skated
time.
the last 2 days. Optimistic.
Front left, Ryan.
Ryan Clark, ESPN. Paul, when you look at what Vegas does with its structure, its five-man unit, like what are those things that kind of stand out to you in terms of what they take away and sort of where you're able to find those pressure points?
It's just a patience game. They're really good at it, for sure, in their structure. Their back end stays very tight to the net. But so much of that structure is akin to Boston Bruins. It's almost identical. They're a little earlier on one of their switches, and other than that, it's exactly that. So getting inside, getting pucks off quicker than they can set their blocks, all those little things. But I think by the time you get here, you've seen almost everything or a version of everything. In Vegas's game, an awful lot of neutral zone speed with that center ice. Real strong rush team, but Boston and Toronto are very much like that. Their defensive structure, they let their forwards do a lot of the work on the way back, and they're heavy around the net.
Left side, Luke.
Paul, just on a personal level, you wake up this morning, first game of the Stanley Cup
Yeah.
Final. Like, can you describe your emotions? What does a day like today feel like?
Slightly happier than before game one of each other series, right? Because we've worked really hard, like put effort into, being completely mindful and present of where we're at and the stage. And, I'll tell you the truth. There's a little tiny bit of sadness. There's only 4 to 7 left. Like, this has been such an incredible experience. All of it, you don't want it to end, right? You want to play 50 games? Sure, let's try that. That'd be more fun. So we've got a routine for our pregame speeches at the start. We do a whole bunch of things, and we only get to do one of those. So, but like that much sadness, right? Everything else is really good.
On the
There
right
were no
side,
tears this morning. Everything's fine.
Paul, the Eichel line for them has been one of the best in the playoffs so far. One, what makes that line so good? And two, you guys have done a really good job of shutting down some really good lines in this playoffs. Just how do you feel like you guys match up with them?
Everybody's got, like an incredible line, and usually with these guys 3 and then 4. They're built. They are truly built an awful lot like Boston. That fourth line will play against anybody. They run their bench exactly like they do. Jack Eichel has an incredible skill set with speed, and he can use those people, and they play off each other very well. Barbashev's got enough bite. They get to the dark areas at the same time. They make a lot of plays, but there's a real high-end skill level on that line.
We'll take 2 more questions for Coach. Left side, Emily.
This is a little bit random, but, we've spent a lot of time talking about Sergei Bobrovsky over the last couple of series, but you guys maybe don't get here without Alex Lyon. When you think about going into a game like this, those people who have brought you here, who maybe won't get on the ice, maybe.
And they might. So we're still going.
I'm sorry,
right?
who's your starter today?
That's good. I think you've asked that a couple times before.
Bringing it back to the first round.
Well, I'm not announcing our starter today. That is so true. And you have maybe players on the outside of that importance to your team. But, that Alex and Zach Dalpe, the guys that not only played, they won us games, right, or tied the game. Zach doesn't score that goal. We've been golfing for a month. So Alex lined the same way. He was so good in difficult situations. Like, he played like every night in that end of January schedule. We had 3 sets of back-to-backs. I mean, nobody plays their backup goalie on back-to-backs. We just ran them straight through. We didn't have much of an option at that point. And he won the last game. It was huge for us. So he's well thought of in our room. And he's probably not getting the start tonight, but he's staying ready.
Last question, Steven.
Paul, following up on Luke's question, just how different is this feeling than 21 years ago for you, last trips, and just how different is it after everything you've seen and been through?
It's as different as this team is. these players are. It's a completely different experience. I've never had one in hockey in all those years that's been like this. And that's a function of the group. I guess if you go 21 years between finals, you maybe appreciate it a little bit more the second time it happens. I don't think that be around for 21 for the third one. 76 at that time, 77. Who knows? If these guys stay, I'll stay.
Thank you for your time,
Okay.
Coach.